Minnesota Vikings need as much help as possible to get pressure on that ass. Trying to bounce back from that 2020 season. Pathetic. And a familiar name with ties to head coach Mike Zimmer just officially hit the market. Seahawks informed defensive end Carlos Dunlap that they will be socially distancing this upcoming season. Dunlap tweeted out, "Still grateful. Thank you, Seahawks." And to the 12s, House in Cincy is officially listed now and about to lower the price. So let's talk about Carlos Dunlap, the pride of the University of Florida today. Background: 32 years young, 6'5", 280, former 5-star recruit from Charleston, South Carolina. He was a big-time recruit, man. Number one recruit in the state. Big-time get by Urban Meyer and the Gators in 2007. Was a 2-year starter for Florida. Was the 2008 defensive MVP of the BCS national title game versus the Sooners as a sophomore. Woo! Beating down Sam Bradford. No big deal. 2009, first team All-SEC, 34 tackles, 9 sacks. Had 9 sacks in back-to-back seasons. Declared great size, straight line speed as well. Would like to see more strength than explosiveness, but certainly hasn't hurt him as a pro. Was a second-round pick in 2010 by the Bengals and defense coordinator Mike Zimmer, and he hit the ground running. Had 27.5 sacks and 195 total pressures his first 4 seasons with Zim before Mike left to take the Vikings job. Take me with you. Also, remember, early on in Zimmer's tenure, every single former Bengal was just like, hey, come on in. Hey, Michael Johnson, come on up to Manny's and grab a couple steaks and then just sign somewhere else. Sign with the Bucks and then re-sign with the Bengals. Every single former Bengals player, Chris Crocker, Taylor Mays, come on in. Some worked. Some didn't work, but spent 10.5 seasons with the Bengals, was a 2-time Pro Bowler 2015-2016. In October 2020, was traded to the Seahawks for center B.J. Finney, as well as a 7th-round pick. Basically a salary cap dump by the Bengals. Did have 5 sacks for the Seahawks in limited work and got released on Monday. He was due a $10.1 million base salary, none of it guaranteed. And with the cap crunch, the Seahawks weren't going to pick that up. Dunlap has a career 628 pressures, 87.5 sacks. Now, the Vikings make sense because Vikings need guys that can get the quarterback, as well as Mike Zimmer's here. Plus, remember, Paul Guenther is also here as senior defensive advisor, taking the place of Dom Capers. So you have the 2 defensive coordinators who oversaw the first 8 seasons of Carlos Dunlap's 11-year career. Also made 2 Pro Bowls under Paul Guenther. So it would be tempting. And it's also clear that Dunlap has something left in the tank. Over the last 2 years, he has an 11.69% pressure rate. Nice. So he can still rush the passer. Plus, since he's been a left defensive end by trade, he's got that size at 280. So he's solid against the run. Vikings can use help at both spots. Plus, if the Vikings do bring him aboard, and he's either the starter or rotationally the starter at left defensive end, Vikings can move Danielle Hunter to right defensive end, the blind side. So then he can go singled up one-on-one against left tackles if the Vikings do make him happy and bring him back, which they absolutely should. And that's what they did when Everson missed time in 2018. They moved Danielle from left defensive end to the right side, and the Weatherly slide in at left defensive end. Now, I would love to have him. I don't think that he'll have a huge market given his age as well as the cap crunch this season. So he's not going to go out at 32 years old and get $10 million a year on a multi-year deal. That ain't happening. And frankly, I would rather have Carlos Dunlap over Jalen Holmes, who's in the final year of his rookie deal. I would send him out. And between Dunlap and Afadi, slight edge of Fadi given age, but it is a lot closer than I like to admit. Plus, signing a player that was cut does not affect compensatory picks for 2022, so we have that going on for us. And given the choice between former Cincinnati Bengals, would you rather have defensive end Carlos Dunlap or defensive tackle Geno Atkins? If the price was about the same, I would take Dunlap. Yeah, because even though Atkins is at a more pressing position of need, defensive tackle, there's a lot of questions about Atkins' health, that shoulder, that rotator cuff. So we know that Dunlap is ready to rock and roll. So I would take Dunlap. I would. So throw $3 to $4 million a year at him. See if it sticks. If he can get more somewhere else in free agency, God bless him. Go get that. But I would love to have a veteran who's familiar with the scheme, familiar with Zimmer, and can still get some. Plus gives you flexibility of where he can deploy Danielle Hunter. So absolutely, Rick Spielman should be calling up Dunlap's agent and be like, hey, today. And even though they signed Weatherly, I don't care. I do not care. Bring them all on. Let's go. Plus, it could soften the blow if the Vikings end up having to trade Danielle Hunter. It's like saying Macbeth. Don't say that either. Anyway, your thoughts. Carlos Dunlap, officially a free agent. Let us know in the comments section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work, pull some in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.